You want to start on that topic?
Among the many skills that that I know you have, Vivian, I was talking to a person. I won't mention his name, but he was speaking about stopping smoking
Yep.
using one of your many skills. Now, I thought it was noteworthy to talk to him with unsolicited response to what happened to him the day when he stopped smoking,
Yep.
because it sounded like a total revolution. I sat there, a man who had smoked 47 years, just about that much, who had smoked more than 3 packs of cigarettes a day, even counted the number of cigarettes, how many thousands that
Yep.
he had spoken over the years. And one night, one day, he picked up a cigarette and decided to use what he found from you to stop smoking.
It's called
Tapping.
EFT, Emotional Freedom Techniques.
Yeah, okay. I'm gonna see. You're gonna eventually have to lay that out over this right here, so that people will understand. This man said that what he did was he tapped his way through. I'm using his terminology. He said, "I tapped my way through," just as I did when I had this time of very severe grief.
Yes.
He said, I did not know what to do with that grief
Yep.
until I learned how to tap my way through those
It may have
moments.
saved his life.
That he said that it saved his life. And I thought, how many times have I gotten to the point where I needed the tools that this man talked about, where he got to a point of grief, because, I've lost 2 wives.
Yes.
I mean, some people question me how come I'm still sane, and I sometimes tell them I'm really not, because I get, here I am sitting up in a cemetery off of Lime Road, at this little cemetery. I'm sitting on this tombstone with this bottle of peach daiquiri, which she loved so much when we had our private moments.
Right.
And I sat there with the radio car real loud, so that I could hear the music, and just pretend I'm celebrating with her.
Right.
And I'm sipping the peach daiquiri, and when I get it to a certain level, I pour the rest of it down where I thought she would be,
Right.
and leave the bottle laying there. I'm sure, much to the chagrin of the cemetery
Caretakers.
caretaker, going,
Yes.
who keeps leaving this stupid, and who's pushing beads down in the ground around the head of this tombstone? There must be somebody crazy coming in here. But then if I had that tool, many days when I found my grief so debilitating and so, and it just enclosed me, and I can't function good.
And
Then I could use the tool that this man said,
and
that
I can
I started using this tool
I can
to
tell
get
you
through moments of grief.
one of the biggest questions that some people have is, will it get rid of all of your
No,
grief? And it does not.
no, he said
But
that.
it does get rid of the unnecessary grief.
That's what he said.
Unnecessary grief, and there is a difference. I do have relatives. I have a female relative whose husband died, and I found out recently that, I mean, he died in 1990, and she hasn't celebrated Christmas since.
No,
And
I
she
understand that.
has 6 children and many grandchildren and some great grandchildren, and I mean, to me, it's a travesty that they you know the mistaken belief is that if I don't grieve a whole bunch, people will think I've stopped loving this person or that I never loved this person. And it's sort of a cultural thing that says that your grief is a sign of love, and so you have to have a lot of grief in order to show that you had a lot of love. And it's not equivalent. It's not equivalent at all. Yes, you're going to be sad and there's going to be a loss in your life and you're going to feel that. But for it to overtake your entire life is entirely unnecessary. And to even for it to affect certain parts of your life, uh, in a tragic way is unnecessary. So the unnecessary grief can go away, and you still have a sense of loss, and you still have some grief that the person is no longer with you, but it loses a lot of control over other things in your life.
Well, one thing and one surprising emotion that comes out of this to me is that in the midst of my grief, and I'm standing there, maybe at a ceremony involving my deceased wife, it's this anger,
Yes.
and the anger is overwhelming. Why am I mad with this woman for leaving me and the kids? Because she left, and somehow it interprets out as an anger, and I think that sometimes that anger, like this person I'm talking about described it to me as far as when he lived, that this this anger is embarrassing.
Well, I can't tell you this much, that depression on a consciousness level, depression is very low. And anger, if you're angry, you've actually come up in a state of consciousness. Anger is a step up in consciousness from depression. So in that respect, it's part of the process. You have to come up these steps of consciousness in regards to the event.
Mm-hmm.
Now, having said that, I am going to say that this person that stopped smoking, we are going to do a video with and to show the process that he used to stop smoking. And we may do also a video, since you've brought it up, on his feelings of grief, because that also would be a very wonderful thing to do for people, because I know that there are videos on YouTube and Google for EFT, but I don't know that any of them have addressed the issue of grief, especially with a loved one that has died, someone that's close to you. So there's a concept that I haven't thought about doing before, but it's certainly a viable one that that I've now put on my little shelf of things to do. I can tell you that right now we are we're going to close this session again, since this has been pretty intense. So maybe we should I'm thinking we ought to move on to something else.
I'm thinking so, but also I know for you, I'm in celebration of this.
Yes.
For you, this is your very, very serious work.
Yes, it is.
Very serious.
Because yes, for myself personally, I've used this technique. It has made me feel so much better, and I want other people to feel better.
And I want them to think it's worthwhile.